We are back at the O'Connell Center in Gainesville on Sun Sports, ready for the final rotation as the Gators head to floor exercise. Florida now with a lead after a very strong beam performance of 49.375, and freshman Ashley Reed leads off the Gators on floor.
She has music from James Dean and James Bond mixed together. Got a back handspring, pike double back, nice height. Obviously, they have a lot of confidence in Ashley starting her on the floor exercise in such a pressure situation. So moving quickly into the second pass. Front layout, front full.
Ashley struggled with her floor routine in the Super 6, so you know she wants to give the home crowd a better routine tonight.
She scored a 9.275, and I know that she wants to improve on that. So far, so good.
Tells you something about Rhonda Fain's confidence in her, that even though she struggled on the floor at home, she's going right back to her to lead off in a very close dual meet.
Well, floor is the event that Florida has put in more difficulty this year. So they're testing the waters and they're throwing some stuff out there and see how they perform early in the year in hopes of peaking at just the right time for a national championship. Last pass, front layout, front pike. There's that Gator chomp. That's a great start for Florida. Taking a look at her tumbling pass. There's that front tumbling, front layout, front full.
Ashley Reed gets Florida off to a solid start with a 9.775 on floor, and finishes up a good evening of all-around for Reed. And Katie Rue will now try to do the same as she competes all around and gets set for her floor exercise.
She has performed a full in and double layouts in this first pass. We'll see what she puts in tonight. Round the back handspring, pike double back. A little bit easier than maybe what she's used to. Stepping into her second pass, whip, half twist, front layout. Kind of unique, you haven't really seen that pass. You've seen a lot of the front tumbling because it is a requirement to have two different directions on their tumbling. And one pass has to include two flips.
We talked about the little step on some of the other dismounts, but in floor, they almost always have a step and a pose after a tumbling run. How is that scored different?
Well, they're stepping into a lunge, which is normal for a tumbling pass, but they can't step out of turns and jump or even out of bounds to get a deduction. That's treated a little bit differently than the other events. Not even looking tired for this last pass. Nice solid finish. Great routine for Katie.
Katie Rue on the floor against LSU at a 9.80.
There's that whip half, front layout. I like to see the variety in the choreography.
And a little bit of an improvement as she goes to 9.825 here against Nebraska. Now over to the beam, Emily Parsons, who had Achilles surgery this summer and fell on the beam against UCLA last week.
She's the 2004 Missouri State Champion. So you're concentrating for this series. Handspring, layout, right on. And Nebraska's not been very successful in beam. They had to count 3 falls against UCLA, and they actually had 4 falls. This has not been their best event this year.
They need to not count any falls because they trail Florida by 2/10 going into the final rotation.
It's been hard for Nebraska. They've competed on the road all year, and so this has been a big challenge for them. Punch front. A little bit of a bobble. That'll be between 2 and 3/10 deduction. If she falls to the ground, it's a 5/10 deduction. Dependent upon the bobble, it's the judge's discretion. She's been very solid on everything else. Full turn. fulfilling her dance requirements. All she has left is her dismount. A 1.5 twist dismount, a slight step at the end. There's that punch front. She's just a little bit off, but she fights to save it. She knows how important every 10th is at this point in the competition.
So Parsons, despite that major bobble up on the beams, gets a 9.70.
I really feel that's a little too high for that event.
And Nebraska needs to hope that doesn't count if they want to catch the Gators. Now Samantha Lutz, who's already had 2 very good routines with a 9.9 on bar and a 9.875 on beam.
She's always a real crowd pleaser for this Florida team. Starting off with the music box dancer. Very graceful. Nice high tuck double back. A little bit of change in music to AC/DC. Big contrast.
Yeah, from music box dancer to AC/DC, I'd say that's a contrast.
Well, it kind of kicked in right in the tumbling where all the power was coming in. It just fits perfectly.
I was a DJ. I know you get fired if you do that on the air. But on the floor, a whole different story.
Second tumbling, front full. Nice tuck front. She has scored a high of a 9.925 on this event, so it's a very strong event for Samantha. Well-suited routine for her. It's always nice to see them get into their routines. You can tell they're enjoying what they're doing. And every gymnast has a gator chomp in their floor routine. Last pass, a double twist. Not the most difficulty in the tumbling, but performs her routine very well. Taking a look at her round up at handspring. Tuck double back. Again, this isn't the difficulty that we know that she has, but she's hit everything, and her routine is starting from a 10-0. She nails that last tumbling pass.
And Samantha Lutz with a 9.90 for Florida, matching the high scores on the floor so far tonight. We're midway through the rotation. More coming up. Snitinsky. Now we go back over to the floor exercise. Here's Breanne King. She's in all around for the Gators for the 12th consecutive meet.
She has a mix of Santana for her music, which is very appropriate. It's very graceful. First pass, round off, whip into a 2.5 twist. That's a difficult pass. Very unique. You haven't really seen a lot of that. Kind of whip into a double twist. Whip backs obviously being one of her strengths.
Breanne from Canada, continuing a long line of Canadians that have made their way to the University of Florida for gymnastics. Started with, I guess, Elfie Schlegel.
She was 5th in the 2000 Canadian Olympic trials, and she started gymnastics at the age of 4. This is a great event for her. She's second team All-American. All she has to do is finish with a strong last pass. Handspring, front full, front pike. Beautiful. That's a great exercise for Breanne. Taking a look at this solid tumbling, front full, nice front pike, and right on.
Breanne King with a 9.850 as she wraps up her all-around for the evening. Struggled on bars, so she won't be a candidate for individual honors, but a good finish to the night for the Gator sophomore. And now here's a Florida freshman, Tiffany Murry.
Floor and vault are 2 of her best events. She's got lots of power, and she knows how to use it in her tumbling. She's starting off with a nice high full twisting, double back. She nails it. Her music is Santa Esmeralda. Resting right before the second pass. Front full, front tuck. She looks very relaxed on the floor exercise. One thing that will help her on down the road is a little more on her dance, working a little more on her dance and getting more comfortable with that, and maybe incorporating more choreography. The music's quite fast. She's not quite moving to the beat like she needs to. Her tumbling obviously right up there with national champions, just needs to work on the area of the choreography. Full turn. Last pass, pike double back, perfect. Again, waiting for that music there. It's got to keep flowing in the dance area. Great job on the tumbling.
She got a little help from the crowd covering those few seconds. Big response to that last tumbling run.
Look at this nice high pike double back, and that's her last pass. That's incredible.
And the crowd's response was right on target with the judges, 9.875. So the Gators have hit their first 5 floor routines. Now we go over to the beam for the last time to check on Jamie Saas. She's a senior out of Illinois for the Nebraska Cornhuskers.
And she fell on this event at Michigan. Although having that fall, this is one of her best events. She's a second-team All-American on the balance beam. Switch leap. It's a nice layout, step out. Punch front. I know this Nebraska team's eager to get to some home competitions. You know, they've been on the road, and, you know, you're used to your beams, you're used to your crowd, and this has been a big test for Nebraska having all their trips on the road.
Especially when you go to Michigan, and they're the best in the Big Ten. You go to UCLA, the defending champ. You go to Florida, a Super 16 from a year ago. So they've faced, in many ways, the best teams they will see until postseason.
Exactly, and they and Florida have extremely tough schedules, but this is going to help prepare them on down the road for the conference championships and the national championships. Back handspring layout, step out right into a full twist. Great finish. Again, you're seeing some of the acrobatic skills incorporated with the dismounts, and it just makes that difficulty that much more.
Well, Jamie Saas, who has a career best 9.975 on beam, gets a 9.90 tonight to help Nebraska. And now our final routine of the night, Savannah Evans.
And the crowd just loves Savannah. She has Cotton Eye Joe for music, and it just allows the crowd to clap and get into it and really give her the energy she needs for this routine.
Coming off a great floor routine at LSU last week.
Nice double twist forward, extremely difficult. Her high score is a 9.95, and I think she can get a 10 on this by the end of the year. 1.5 twist, front layout, and a fall. Looks like she floated that layout a little bit too long. But see, she gets right up smiling. That's what I like to see. She just continues the flow of the routine. Nice positive attitude. I know that's what those Florida coaches really like about her. She's always bubbly and has a great personality.
How hard is that?
It's extremely hard on the road, more so than probably at home, but she loves this event. This is one of her best events. And so she knows that that's really not going to hurt them that much too right now, so it probably is a little bit easier. But no matter, I think she would keep on smiling knowing her personality. Not only is she a great athlete, but she's a scholastic All-American as well. All she has to do is now this last pass. Front full, front layout. Way to get your composure back. That was excellent. Taking a look at that front full, front layout, her last pass, and a strong finish.
Savannah Evans with a 9.350 with the .5 deduction, so the judges liked everything else. We'll be back.